Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick, your creativity and spiritual life coach, helping women in midlife bloom. Welcome to Higher Energetic Resonance Inspirations, and for anyone who's watching me on the first time on YouTube, welcome to the visual version. This week on the podcast, I want to talk about compassion. Compassion is something that we all need as we go on to bloom in our midlife, but also compassion is what we need to show to others in the world, especially when the world seems so divided. At this point in time, there are people who are grieving, people who are upset, people who are jubilant, and there's a lot of finger pointing and dividing and a lot of fear. And that's not going to help us move forward. The way that we move forward is to really understand how people arrive at the situations and the decisions that they've arrived at. I want to start by sharing a quote. And this quote is from Albert Einstein. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. So if we think about how we feel about how we're showing up in the world right now, especially during these days, when we feel that there's so much going on, when we feel that we're not being seen, when we feel that the future looks so dark for us, and especially as midlife women, we have to have so much compassion for ourselves, so much compassion for the way that we've lived our lives, so much compassion for maybe things that we feel we should have done and feel like we don't have time to do them now. Well, neither of those things are true, because as you still have breath in your body, there is still time for you to make all of the moves and all of the changes that you want. And it also starts with compassion for the fact that you were in fear, in disbelief about what you deserved. And now you're realizing, I actually deserve those things. But having compassion for yourself, and why did you feel that you didn't deserve those things? Often it comes from a belief, and the belief that we usually have are beliefs that are imprinted on us and then are reinforced, and we stay with them. So why do we stay with those beliefs when we want so much more for ourselves? And we can look around outside of the world and we can blame all of these different figures, celebrities, politicians, we can blame our teachers, our parents, our family, but ultimately it comes back to ourselves. So we're constantly checking into ourselves and in with ourselves to ask ourselves, what is it that we really want? What do we really want for ourselves, and why didn't we give ourselves that in the first place? And then especially with the division that's happening in the world, especially politically, and people feeling that their side is right and the other side is wrong. The compassion is to look at the other side, as it were, people who you think as an other, people who you feel that have let you down by not doing what you think they should do. People usually act from a point of view of wanting things to be better for themselves, and they're doing as much as they can with the information and the perspective that they have. And whether you think that that's right or wrong, or they're being misled or brainwashed or propagandized or any of that, we really have to understand where that person's coming from and have compassion for them. And sometimes leave them to make their own mistakes, to live in their own reality. Whether you think that they are on the right side or the wrong side, or delusional or not, it's to have compassion and to allow their soul to experience itself in the way that it's supposed to experience itself, for them to learn the lessons that they as a soul have come here to learn. And allowing each other to learn and give each other the space to make the mistakes, to go down the wrong path, to believe the wrong things, to overlook our own needs, to have compassion and know that at some point that person will learn and evolve to the extent that they are due to learn or evolve in this lifetime. And it may not necessarily be at the level or at the space or at the place that you want them to be, but it's about having compassion. And especially compassion is needed as midlife women. We're stepping into a stage of queenhood now where we are representing what womanhood could be. How far can we go? How brilliant, how amazing can we make these things? And when we make the choice to have compassion for where people are, to have compassion for ourselves, to have compassion when we're attacked for where we're coming from and people don't understand us, when we allow ourselves to be compassionate and be in the space that I want somebody to figure it out for themselves and I'm going to trust that they'll figure it out, that's compassion. Compassion is as and when and if somebody should come to you later and want to know what it is that you're doing, why are you not getting so swayed by all the things that happen in the world, that you meet them with compassion and allow them to open up to you. Because no one wants to feel that they're being chastised, especially if they feel that they're suddenly arriving at a new perspective. Maybe they've decided that what you were saying was the right thing after all. It's not the time to be hard on them, it's the time to be compassionate. This world needs compassion. All of the women in this world need to have compassion, to get out of fear, to really understand that it starts with us. It starts with us within ourselves. It starts with us as we want to bloom into midlife, to have compassion.